So Zach's been sorting. Look at you. Look, Zach, show you're sorting. Doesn't this make you nostalgic
Yeah.
for Magic the Gathering when it was so simple, when it was just crappy art? I mean, it's not crappy, but I mean, it's like today's day and age. You think that'd ever get printed? That
What
was
about
just
that?
well, of course, the Earthbind. It's a card that will never. That's a reserve list card right there. Um, but yeah, when Magic was so simple
I know there was real art.
and it was just fun and had white bordered cards and black bordered cards and oh, nostalgia for the good old days. Speaking of good old days, show them the.
Thank you, wizards. Still
We're
so
consolidating.
much
So if you do want to, I go into more detail on both the Rogue Market and the Rogue Deck Builder, where I go in big detail on my entire thoughts over the new play boosters that are going to be coming out mid next year, I believe. So we still have some nonsense of the unholy trinity of collector boosters, set boosters, and draft boosters. But it does seem that Wizard of the Coast is changing gears. They even acknowledged that they've killed the secondary market and that there needs to be a healthy ecosystem, which I think is pretty, that's a substantial admit for the fart sniffers over at Wizard of the Coast that pat each other's self on the back while, the entire market burns and their game collapses. So speaking of collapses, if you are a patron of ours, I highly, highly encourage you to go check out the sales that are going on. There are some killer deals. The sad thing is, even with those killer deals, they're not much better than what they're going for on TCG Player and eBay. So we're talking like $100 collector boosters,
oh
like
my
new
gosh.
Capenna and stuff.
That has
And it's
$10,
just
$20 lands.
I know. I was going to do analysis on that. The whole reason I didn't pick it as one of the products to buy because they're literally going for the exact same price on TCG Player and eBay. So like it doesn't like give any advantage to being a patron. You can just go right on TCG Player and buy it. But yeah, that is a pretty decent product to buy because you're guaranteed like there's got to be more than 5 of them in a collector's,
Yeah.
a whole booster box, a whole thing. We're talking about a whole thing of these
We
suckers.
got one there. Okay, I'll do a profit or loss since we haven't done one.
No, I gotta open up 4 Doctor Who boxes. I don't want to be able to
Oh,
yeah, sorry, I have to open up some Doctor Who. They'll be coming for a video. What was I talking about? So yeah, so play boosters. So I am mostly positive, and now that I'm thinking it through, I'm not in that big of a deal on the limited experience because I think you can just adjust to it. Yes, limited does get a lot higher variance now because what they're doing, if you're not aware, again, go check out the billion videos that have been done and go read Mark Roser's post about it, is they're basically mashing these things two together. They're taking some of the slots from set booster, applying them over to draft booster, and then keeping the draft booster experience alive so that we only have one product, not 2 products here. So the new price will be the set booster price. So there will be an increase, which actually makes all this era, the draft boosters, actually a little bit appealing because I think price memory will then start to adjust where people will think, oh, booster boxes are $100 rather than $85. And so I think these older products get a little more appealing. Oh, speaking of which, there's $60 booster boxes for
no
new
way.
Baldur's Gate, I think New Capenna, Crimson Vows down there. Yeah, it's crazy. The sales right now are absolutely insane. And yeah, it's a we're really starting to see the because this product again, the people are starting to make room for Caverns and Vixlon, and even Wilds of Drain is actually not selling that great. It did at first, and now it's actually slowed down to where there's plenty available at distribution and plenty available. I mean, there should be. That's the whole thing. Like there's a lot of things that need to change in the Magic ecosystem because there needs to be availability of products for people to buy, but it can't be to the point where everything just gets so flooded. I talk about it like crazy in the other video where I really wish that Pokemon or Magic would do what Pokemon does and create like a Magic Center where Wizards of the Coast actually has an MSRP. So on their website they have like booster boxes $150, and that at least gives us a something to kind of anchor our prices on. But all in all, I do think that the change is in the right direction. I really want this crap to go away. Like collectors boosters are just they're garbage now because the market is just adjusted to where it's not a collector's product anymore. It's just this is like the normal. Like if we were to show you our singles back here, the vast majority of our cards now are foils, borderless, or what do they showcase? Like we have. If I were to open up any one of these new boxes here and show you the we'll just do one here. What's a new set, Zach? We got like Baldur's Gate.
No, Baldur's Gate.
We did a lot of draft, yeah. But here we go, Modern Horizons. Like this is what ends up happening with Modern Horizons is the normal ones get, there you go. The normal ones get sell, and look, we got backers of non-normals. So these guys' wheels are like the other versions of them. So this one has etch foils, borderlesses,
and retros from another set.
Retros. No normals. We have, I'm glad it's opened right to it. No normals. So what is collectible about these if they're just more common than the normals? And the answer is nothing. And so they can't call them collector's boosters if there's no collectability of it. So the only option they can go with collector boosters is really limit them. If they want to be able to hold that 185, I mean, they're supposed to be selling for like $250 to $300 is what they wanted the MSRP to be for collector's boosters. Nothing has even come close to that. Why don't they
do just one print run and make it an actual collector
Well,
item?
again, they might just do one print, but their print is massive. The whole thing is they're greedy. They want to make sure they don't want to miss out on, because they did, but the only one they really underprinted was the original Core 2020. Like the first, that was like and Commander Legends. Yeah. Those are like the only ones I can think of. Even Throne of Eldraine had that second run of it that killed the prices of it. Ikoria, Zendikar took forever. Zendikar still can be had for almost distributor price. Zendikar, that thing's rotated. Yep. It should have been rotated twice now if they would have kept it with regular rotation. So it's, collectors, they're not collector's pack anymore. The market is adjusted. No one is paying $250 for those items anymore. Throne of Eldraine has come down, the collector's boosters. They've reprinted things like in Commander Masters, they printed Great Henge.
Oh yeah,
and they also reprinted Brazen Borrower, and they also printed even things like a Yara, which would be collectible at this point.
Cavern of Souls is coming out.
Well, Cavern of Souls probably did need a reprint. It's about time that does, but the way they're reprinting it
wasn't the one that was in. Oh my gosh, the Kamigawa set, wasn't that also in Commander Masters? Or was that
maybe there was in
that was
Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, yeah, they had them in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, they already reprinted cards that exist currently in Standard. So we still need to have that. If they want to do Commander or collector's boosters, that shenanigans absolutely has to stop. But the first thing is these things have to go back to kind of like the From the Vaults, where they are actually limited, where they were collectible. And I talk about it extensively.
Why don't we do From the Vaults instead of Secret Lairs?
Well, they are giving us another secret lair, WPN. What is it? Hydras.
Actually is cool.
But anyway, with where was I going before I was rudely interrupted?
Sorry, collector boosters are.
Well, they have to be. I talk about extensively in my other video. Is yes, I understand that people want their game pieces. I'm starting to be sarcastic like Rudy is with game pieces, because people are frothing over their mouth about how this game needs to be accessible. Okay, yes, it needs to be accessible, but it also has to justify the price. You can't have your cake and eat it too. It needs to be like you have to have a mix of both to where you can justify your purchases. And the problem now with collectors, again, they're not collectible. And first of all, I don't think that Wizards of the Coast should be catering towards collectors. Let collectors decide what they want to collect. You don't need to make specific products that are geared, 100% towards those type of people. They will find things that they will collect, like foils used to be out of like 7th edition foils. That's why they're so expensive, because collectors went after them, or reserve list cards. They don't need to cater towards that. So I'm glad that they're going back, instead of set boosters, which were also geared toward collectors, they're getting away with that, putting it in draft, giving things for people to collect in it. It is kind of wonky though. Again, go look at how these two are actually mixed together and compiled, because it's going to lead to some really wonky limited experiences with list cards being mixed in the mix. And again, list is just such a dumb idea. I wish they'd go away from list cards. I don't think it's either they have reprint sets or they have the list slot. Pick one, Wizard. You can't have both. It's too much. No one, and I say reprint sets because no one cares about list cards. No one factors them in when they actually purchase a product. It's just something that's in there. So it's one of those things that doesn't do its intended job of attracting people to the product. So I think that if Wizards went back to actually limiting products, it would give some integrity back to the collectible aspect of Magic the Gathering. Doesn't mean that everything has to cost $1 billion. The players can still have their accessible product. They can then start making things like Challenger decks again if they want accessibility. But the problem with Challenger decks is they got outclassed because they don't even look like a good purchase compared to, the biggest issue right now we have with Magic the Gathering is collector boosters have just outshined everything else. The amount of value that they threw in these suckers just was like, okay, if I want to actually open packs, go collectors. It's the better route to go. Even with the dead foil multiplier and the dead, borderless showcase multiplier that existed during the first Ikoria and Throne of Eldraine. Now, even though that doesn't exist, just the sheer amount of rares and stuff that you get from this is much better value than going this route, especially now that they get blown out. for $100, like for a collector's box. I don't like them. I think they're just, again, they need to be super limited, maybe be rebranded as something else for that collectible item. Like I said, I like the From the Vaults. I like those type of things that came out every now and again. Speaking of which, with Commander, that needs to slow down. There's a lot of things Wizards of the Coast needs to do, but I'm actually quite positive over the play boosters. I think is a step in the right direction. Yeah, it's going to free up some space for office and give less products. That might
be only a year now instead of...
Well, how many times when customers come in do we have to like, what's the difference between a set booster and a draft booster?
Half the packs we've opened
is because we were explaining them, yeah. Like, well, let us show you, because it's easier to show you than to try to explain. But yeah, so consolidating the two is fine. I know a lot of people are upset because, yeah, that'll be the new price for them is a little bit higher. I don't know if they're going to come in 36 packs, though. I wonder if they're just going to, maybe they'll even go down to 24. They'll really, they're going to really stick it to us.
Yes, they are.
That's probably the thing with it. But yeah, so it is though. I'm positive about it in the long run. So again, it's the first step in the right direction. There are so many things that Wizards of the Coast needs to do to actually, save this game. Because if you do go look at my Patron sale right now, it's not just one distributor. And Bruce is trying to steal the show. You playing over there, Bruce? Trying to get Buttons to play? And Buttons is crying because he wants to go in the hall and look at a ball.
Oh, he attacked me earlier.
You're just going to go out and look at a ball, and then stare at it and hope it throws itself. Because then when I throw the ball, you don't bring it back. But anyway, so yeah, it is a good step in the right direction for where Wizards of the Coast is going. Store owners like Zach are going to love it because now we don't have to have as many SKUs. And I even said, like, I apologize to patrons too. You know how many boxes that we've missed sent? They were either draft or set, because when you're really going quick and putting together boxes. I mean, look at that. These, like, look it from this angle. Like, it's very, very hard to kind of see the difference between the two.
Some of the old
Kamigawa was tough.
Yeah, some of they're like the same colors. Brucey,
excuse you, Bruce.
Bruce, we're filming.
He doesn't care. He's like, it is time to play. But I think that's a good discussion. We are interrupted by the squeaker, but yeah, go watch the video for a full 40-minute analysis of the play boosters. I'm positive about it. I'm excited about it. We'll get on to the next video.